What's up? Welcome. 23 years ago, this boy was born in Ukraine. He was raised there, he went to school, made friends, lived larger part of his life there. And when he turned 15, he moved to Canada. And it's like two worlds collided for him. It's like two different cultures clashed together and basically had him restart his whole life. New friends, new environment, new circumstances, new housing situation. Everything was different from him. But he made it work, I think. You know, he was taught a lot of things throughout his life. One of the biggest things he was taught was, of course, being a man, rather traditional man, you know, being strong, being confident, determined, emotionless, have this facade on that prohibits you from ever crying or showing your emotions or opening up to anyone. And to him, that was normal. That was just how everybody was talking around him, and that's how everyone was talking about being a man. And so he just tried to be a man, according to that. Movies, news, animated movies, comic books, everything taught him that a man is supposed to be an emotionless, stone-faced facade, that he's supposed to be masculine, he's supposed to be big, he's supposed to be this and that. And you know, he wasn't, you know, and that made him feel weak, that made him feel lesser, that made him feel like he was behind everyone else. This idea of being a man that was fed to him through all kinds of media, parents, friends, made him feel small. 95% of you watching this are male. At least that's what my analytics tells me. So we all have similar struggles or stuff we can relate to. We were all taught what a man is supposed to be through whatever media you chose to consume as a child. But aside from that statistic, there's also another statistic. 75% of all suicide are men. Men who historically were stigmatized to share their emotions, to open up, to tell someone how they were truly feeling, and instead resorted to closing that all in, bottling it all up inside, and for some of them, it unfortunately exploded. More than 20% of all men live with some kind of a mental illness, and majority of them unfortunately chooses to keep it to themselves. How many times have you heard the phrase, "men up"? I've heard that phrase a lot coming from kinds of people, even those who don't mean me harm, but they just said it because that's what you do as a man. You man up. You learn how to deal with stuff, you know, you're strong, you're supposed to deal with things, you know. Living 20 years with that mentality, I thought it was true. I thought, yeah, that's what I need to do. I need to man up. I need to be stoic. I need to be like, oh, I can cry later when I'm alone. Even in movies or TV shows that you've been watching, if you ever see a man crying, which is very rare, it's usually the most extreme tragic event ever. And that culture of manning up, that culture of hiding your emotions because you're not supposed to show your emotions because you're a man, has led us to that statistic that I mentioned earlier. And that's fucking sad. That's really fucking sad. It's November, and as you know, we dedicate a singular month a year for important social issues. So this month we talk about men's mental health. And, you know, having a 95% male audience, I feel the responsibility to do that, to talk about it, to tell you to stop manning up and instead speaking up. Growing up in Eastern Europe, where mental health isn't really a thing that people care about, I heard the phrase mental health for the first time ever in my entire life when I was 16, 1 year of me being here in Canada. So you could imagine I grew up with all kinds of ideas what a man is supposed to be, except for the realistic one. That a man can be soft, that a man can open up to whoever he wants, that a man can make mistakes, that a man can be weaker, that a man doesn't have to have a six-pack and, you know, unilaterals on their... So my whole life I grew up thinking that a man is supposed to be a strong, immortal god like Superman and not ever cry. But in reality, a man is someone who is strong enough to be able to talk about their shortcomings, their hard moments in life, their issues, their depression. That's what a man is supposed to be. And that is where the strength of a man comes from, in my opinion. I've not been doing that great lately. Maybe the last couple of months or even years, I've lost count. But that's very human. I think nobody watching this video could truly say 100% that they're feeling great and they don't want anything to change in their life. So that's another reason to open up. That's another reason to speak up, because everybody's going through shit, no matter who they are, no matter what gender they are. You know, I'm not gonna trauma dump on you or anything. That's not what this video is about, but I've been going through stuff, whether it's professional or, you know, personal, stuff that's within my control, stuff that's outside of my control. And it's been affecting a lot of things, including YouTube. I feel like that's something that you can probably see with the uploads. You know, I've recently uploaded a video and I wasn't really happy with it, but I just had to dump something on the channel because of daily uploads. And it did terribly. It was like the worst performing video in the last 3 years. So I just deleted it because I was like, I can't. I felt like it wasn't my standard. I felt like it wasn't what I wanted. So I just deleted it. There were comments, likes, people who watched it already. That moment I didn't really care, and I feel that was kind of a foolish thing to do, but it made me feel better. But you know, outside of YouTube, there's a lot of things where I'm not feeling great, and some things that make me feel like I need to change something right now or it will get much, much worse. It's hard, man. It's really difficult. But again, it's important to speak up. That's something I haven't done for 20 years of my life, and only recently I started to open up to people because I finally felt comfortable to do it. And so I'll take that small victory. This video is my small victory because I'm talking about it, you know, maybe to people who need to hear it. You know, it's all about small victories. It's all about that journey to feel better, no matter what you're going through. It can be something as simple as, I don't know, buying a new t-shirt or getting a new haircut. I got a new haircut. It's very different for me. I've had long hair for like 3 years now, but I decided to change things, and I'll take that. That's a small victory. So I hope whatever the fuck I'm talking about right now helps you relate or feel the same way or do the same thing. I don't know, speak to someone, open up, talk about your issues, whoever you feel comfortable with talking. That's very human. So, what is the solution here? How do we destigmatize male mental health? I think we just talk about it. We do exactly what I said earlier. We stop man up and start speak up. Imagine someone watching a man on TV or YouTube speaking about their feelings, talking about their experiences, and being open about it, and not being afraid to be a little softer. They will start feeling the same way because they see someone who they maybe consider a role model or something do it, then they're gonna do the same. The more we talk about it, the more we are open about it, the more this issue will get resolved. I think a lot of the stigma also comes from a very binary way of society. You know, people nowadays think they have to pick a stance on every single issue, and usually they pick one side, and then everything else that side supports, they now support. Everything else that side opposes, they oppose. It just so happens that male mental health stigma is on either side of those barricades, and a lot of people choose to negate it. They choose to say, well, a man is supposed to be strong. Well, a man is supposed to be, you know, closed in and not open up because he might get his feelings hurt, but then if he gets his feelings hurt, he's not able to share it or cry, so he just has to keep it to himself. You know what I mean? But people will do people things, I guess. The point of this video is just to tell you that it's okay to speak up. And you definitely have someone who you can speak to, whoever you feel comfortable to. And if you don't, feel free to do it in the comments. But of course, be respectful to others. I just hope that this video helped someone who felt that way, who felt that they were lesser or weaker or not masculine enough. You are. You are enough. You are good enough. Spread that message, spread that positivity, and talk about your stuff, because we are all here for it. Guess that's the message. Yeah. Don't be afraid to speak up. Anyways, it's getting cold. Love y'all. See you in the next one. Bye.